Okay, so the story of how we got engaged began with a super awkward text. You were only nice to me so you could get close to my man. Oh, I get it now. I see who you really are. So I'm like sitting in my hometown airport in Toronto, waiting to board a plane back to my current home in LA. And normally I don't respond to texts from unknown numbers, but this like brazen accusation caught my eye, so I fired back. I don't know who this is, but you definitely have the wrong person. Within seconds, they responded. I definitely do not have the wrong person, Shan Boudram. We met on your show. I've been texting you now for months and you never reply. But I get it now. You were only nice to me on set so you could get closer to him. It clicked. Oh, I remember this woman. I closed the chat and I saved her name as Do Not Respond. But I'll give you a bit of backstory. So I worked on this show where we helped couples who were on the brink of breaking up, and this girl and her boyfriend, who for the record I have zero romantic interest in, were guests on this show. Okay, and after the taping, she approaches me and she like hands me her phone and says, "We have to keep in touch." And I'm going to be honest, I really did not want to give her my number, but I also felt super uncomfortable with the idea of rejecting her in that moment. So I just did the cowardly thing and gave her the digits, but didn't respond every time she texted. And I mean, every time that she texts. So I get back to LA now and I grab my luggage and then I hit up Jared like, yo, come get me. I'm ready to get picked up. And then I'm not making this part up. Out of like the corner of my eye, I'm pretty sure that I saw Do Not Answer walking in my general direction. Now, don't get me wrong, being realistic, even if it actually was her, I'm sure it was some random coincidence and she wasn't actually at the airport specifically to beat my ass, but I also didn't think she'd end up being a texting chainsaw massacre. So I grab my bag super quick, start wheeling out of the airport, and then thankfully Jared calls in that exact moment.
I'm parked outside, come now.
I mean, I didn't need to be convinced. I just hurried outside and then I saw him standing by the trunk with a bouquet of red roses. But I'm like so focused on getting out of there, I start yelling at him like that one manic woman in that commercial. Once I got safely inside of the car, Jared hands me this beautiful bouquet of red roses, and I did thank him, but then I just immediately launched into the long-winded story about Do Not Answer and that whole catastrophe I just told you about. Side note though, Jared has brought me flowers before when I've gone back from longer trips, so I didn't really think much of it, which I get is kind of ungrateful of me. So I'm going on and on about boundaries and having to get better at enforcing them. And then he cuts me off like 20 minutes in and is like,
have you read the card on the flowers?
Oh, there's a card. So attached to the flowers were two items, a gift card to the movies and a note on lined paper that read, "You are perfectly perfect for me." Then on the back, it said clue number 1. What does this mean? Clue to what? He keeps his head straight and he just like shrugs, and my mind in that moment starts racing. Okay, wait a second. Is this that night? Now, don't be stupid. People don't get engaged after a 5-hour red-eye flight when they look like a human pothole and smell like ode to public transportation. So, back to the drawing board. What were these clues for? I reviewed the evidence again. Tickets, this note. Did Jared get cast in a movie? Is Jared an actor? So eventually we get back to our building, then he stops the car out front and says,
I gotta run to the restroom. Can you park the car?
Again, this is like nothing out of the ordinary. Jared has the bladder of a toddler, but then he yells,
Yo, you left something on the roof.
I left something on the roof? Like what? My passport? Or was it a high-tech explosive cleverly implanted by Do Not Answer? So I jump out of the car, and even though, of course, I don't see a bomb, my heart sure does explode. There's like this single rose with another note attached to it. And in that moment, of course I knew. I just let myself cry and feel everything. Since I was a kid, I wondered who, how, and when this moment would come. And ironically, that morning in Toronto, when I woke up in my childhood bedroom, I had no idea this would be the day I got answers. So, hunched over with tears, I slid into the driver's seat and read Clue 2, which told me to head to the parking garage and check the glove box when I got there. So, there's this like full-blown tsunami happening on my face, but I somehow managed to park and find Clue 3, which told me to search the garage. Clue number 4 told me to go to our mailbox. And so I started in that direction, and then all of a sudden this wave of self-consciousness hit me. Look at me. Smell me. How am I supposed to get engaged like this? So I head back to the car, open my suitcase, pull out jeans, a leather jacket, deodorant, and toothpaste. I know it's stupid of me to think about stuff like that in a time like this, but I did. So slightly fresher, I found clue 5 in the mailbox telling me to search the stairwell. So I climbed the stairs, all 9 stories. Thank you, Jared, for the impromptu workout. And then I found clue 6 behind a pipe. It said, "Come home."
Meanwhile, I'm up here. I overestimated how much time it was gonna take her. It felt like 45 minutes. Like, I was just sitting upstairs like, all right. Like, literally that song repeated like 100 times before you even came upstairs.
When I got to our apartment, it was covered in red and white balloons and lit in soft pink, while Teddy Pendergrass, my latest and my greatest inspiration, played. So clue 7 was attached to a balloon. It said, "Take these scissors and pop the balloons until you locate number 8. So I look around at our place that moment. It's filled with like 100 balloons ceiling to floor. Then, being the practical robot that I am, I'm like, "You really want me to pop all of these? Can we just play a game of hot or cold until we find the right one?" So we did, and you guys know the game. When I got hot, like really hot, scorching hot, basically on fire, I found the balloon with clue 8, which led me to clue 9 in a bowl of Skittles because, P.S., those are your girl's favorite candies. And after that, he opened the box and asked the big question. I cried, I got down with him, and I said through heaves stupidly, "Aren't you gonna give me a love speech?" And he's like,
What do you think all this is?
In short, even though I was a ball of micromanaging, scattered imperfection, that night was perfect. And I never want to forget a single detail, which is kind of why I made this video. The end.
To celebrate our engagement, we want to give away some of our favorite products we rock with as a couple. Hair products, relationship books, vibrators, and one special item. Go in the info box below and get more details.
Baby, drop it down. I be in your town. Ready when you see me, baby, rolling through your city. I be living gritty, I'm just trying to get us plenty. Mama getting pretty when I see her throwing fitties. Baby, drop it down. I be in your town. Ready when you see me, baby, rolling through your city. I been living gritty, I'm just trying to get us plenty. Mama getting pretty when I see her throwing fitties. Baby got the flame, had to get the rain. Me and wifey got engaged and we ain't say a thing. See them creep around me, all I do is switch the lane. Stutter stepping faster cause the hater leave a stain. There she go, hella close, hit her with a back and forth. All I do is ride it low, they really try to take my soul. I'ma come around and let you see I'm really fly now. Karma's in the sky now, never wanna fly down. Baby, drop it down, I be in your town. Ready when you see me, baby, rolling through your city. I been living gritty, I'm just trying to get us plenty. Mama getting pretty when I see her throwing fitties. Baby, drop it down, I be in your town. Ready when you see me,